everyone, good Wednesday evening. It's Weather for Weather Geeks time here on the Storm Tracker 21 app, WFMG.com/weather. My social media outlets, including my YouTube channel, wherever you're watching this evening, good evening to you, and hope you enjoyed the refreshing change that we had across the area during the second half of the day today after a wet start this morning. I wanted to take a moment and finish up our review of the summer season. If you want to see the full summer review, be sure to check out last evening's Weather for Weather Geeks and also on my weather blog, ericwfmg.com, a written blog post dealing with all the statistics from the summer season. Here's kind of the bottom line. 19th warmest summer on record for us. Temperatures very similar to last year. The overnight lows were the warmest since 1995. We had some very warm nights. Air conditioners did not get much of a rest at times this summer. Second wettest on record for the season, but the month of August was the wettest August on record, and it was the second most humid summer on record, trailing 1995. I wanted to throw one more stat at you today because I did some digging on the wettest hours on record at the Youngstown Warren Airport. In other words, how much rain fell in any 1 hour period at our official site in Vienna. And number one was 2.84 inches back in the 5 o'clock hour p.m. on June 17th, 2004. What I mean by recurrence, average recurrence over here, in other words, this is how often we can expect, based on climatological data, how often we can expect a rainfall event such as this. So that 2004 event in which we picked up almost 3 inches in 1 hour, that's a once every 200-year event, very rare. Now, a lot of these, they happen once every 50 to 100 years on average, but this year, this summer, we had two high-end rain events within 6 weeks. June 29th and August 19th this summer, we had over 2 inches of rain during a 1 hour time frame each of those days. 7 o'clock hour p.m. back in June, and most recently on August 19th during the 3 p.m. hour, we had 2.36 inches worth of rain at the airport. So the recurrence interval for that 2.47 back in June, that's about once every 80 years. The August event, in which we picked up 2.36, that's a once in every 63 years kind of event. And the fact that we had two of them within 6 weeks of each other is pretty remarkable stuff. And, it's one of those things that we are definitely going to talk more often about as, we go into the future and the atmosphere continues warming. Warmer atmosphere can hold more water vapor, and a lot of that water vapor can be wrung out if conditions are right, and so you can expect an increase in the frequency of these kinds of high-end weather events, whether it be a 1 hour rainfall, a 24-hour rainfall, or whatever the case may be. We're going to see more events like this as long as the atmosphere continues to warm. All right, it is September the 1st, and we're now into meteorological autumn, the 3 months of the year in which temperatures fall at the fastest rate, of course. We lose 35 degrees off those daytime highs between now and the very end of November. What about the forecast for this autumn season? Now, it's hard to find much of a signal for cooler than average temperatures in a lot of the lower 48 for the season. Now, of course, all this is compared to the average, and this is a 3-month forecast, so this isn't saying there's going to be no cold weather this fall anywhere. That's not what this is saying. But when you average September, October, November, a lot of places in the lower 48 states will probably come out with a somewhat warmer than average season. Of course, variable weather is very common in the fall. Lots of violent swings between warm and cold, especially as we get into the latter half of the season. But I think odds favor the season being a warmer than average one here locally. Strongest signal as far as precipitation, it's a dry signal, unfortunately, out west. The Intermountain West especially could have a particularly dry autumn season. For us, there's not much of a signal either way. Now, that's not to say that it's going to be exactly average or anything like that. There's not enough of a signal to say that there's elevated odds of a wetter than average season or a drier than average season. In other words, it can kind of go either way at this stage. All right, our most recent rainfall wrapped up earlier on today, and as expected, there was a pretty big gradient across our area with basically nothing in northern Trumbull County, northwestern Mercer, and then you had a half an inch, 3/4 of an inch or so worth of rain from southeastern Mercer through a lot of Lawrence, through central and eastern Mahoning, and down into northeastern Columbiana. Where we underperformed a little bit with this was actually in the southeastern corner of our area. A lot of the modeling was advertising over an inch worth of rain. That axis of heavier rain was just a little bit farther to the north, And then certainly once you got east, a whole lot of rain has been occurring over the last several hours, and flooding problems, unfortunately, have come to fruition. We were afraid of this, and it's been a historic weather day for flooding in a lot of Pennsylvania, into New Jersey, into parts of the Hudson Valley in New York State as well. These are some radar estimates, 24-hour estimates, and it's not done in a lot of these places just yet, but we're starting to see these pinks. Allentown, Reading, down into the northern suburbs of Philadelphia, 6, 7, 8 inches common, back towards the Allegheny front, around the Harrisburg area, and even back where you don't see the bright pink colors. We've had a lot of problems closer to Johnstown, PA, Altoona as well. These places have had a ton of rain. And look how much real estate is covered by flash flood watches and flash flood warnings still at this hour. We had a lot of flash flood warnings earlier back in central PA. Most of the action now is eastern PA, into New Jersey, into New York City, the Hudson Valley, and up into parts of New England as well. There's also been several tornadoes today, from Annapolis, Maryland, on north and east through parts of New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania, and unfortunately that tornado threat will continue at least for another couple of hours. Back here at home, though, the dry air is finally winning the battle. It feels pretty nice outside this evening. Dew points are dropping into the mid-50s. We have 40s dew points across the lake into Canada and even into Detroit, and that's the air mass that is coming our way. All right, it's time once again for the Penguin game day, or should I say game night forecast, as YSU kicks off the season with a night game tomorrow evening at Stambaugh Stadium. Temperatures at kickoff in the upper 60s, but it's going to cool off quickly. Clear sky, the wind becoming light, great radiational cooling conditions tomorrow evening after sunset. So long sleeve shirt may be appropriate for some. By the end of the game, temperatures will be in the upper 50s. We'll end up in the upper 40s by daybreak on Friday. I can't emphasize enough how nice it's going to be outside tomorrow. I mean, lower 70s, low humidity, hardly a cloud in the sky. Unless your pool is still open and you want to use it, it's hard really to complain about a day like tomorrow. It is, in most people's estimations, pretty much perfect September weather. A few high clouds in the mix on Friday. Same idea Saturday. It's not going to be perfectly sunny for a lot of the day Saturday. In fact, the clouds may thicken a little at times, but it may look a little threatening. But I think we're in pretty good shape. We should be dry through the daylight hours Saturday. This next front might produce a couple of showers Saturday night into parts of Sunday, but Sunday does not look like a washout. Of course, it's Canfield Fair time. And I created this graphic a few years ago detailing high temperature trends for the fair dating back to 1965. 1973 was the hottest fair. 2006 was the coldest fair. Last year, of course, was a weird year. We're not including that on the graphic here, but our most recent all systems go full Canfield Fair in 2019 was almost exactly average, and we are expecting this year to pretty much be exactly average temperature-wise, with daytime highs, middle and upper 70s through Labor Day. As far as individual days, the warmest day during the Canfield Fair was back on August 29th, 1991, when the high was 96. The coolest daytime high, September 2nd, 2006, the high temperature was only 58, and the rainiest day at the Canfield Fair since 1965 was in 1965 on September 1st, 1.65 inches worth of rain. We have no hot weather coming our way. It looks like for most of the first half of the month. This is the high temperature trends compared to average for the next 10 days. Average highs drop from 79 to 76 over the course of the next 10 days, and will be at least a couple of degrees, if not a handful of degrees, cooler than average, it looks like, through the following weekend. So 9-10 days from now, we'll still be probably no higher than the lower 70s for daytime highs. So I think for most of us, pool season is about done. I think we're going to have a better chance of getting some warmer than average temperatures during the second half of the month, but by then, our averages are in the lower 70s, so a warm late September day is highs in the mid-70s. Of course, we're heading into the transitional season in which our averages start falling at a more rapid pace. All right, another long video tonight. Thanks as always for watching, everyone. I will see you back here on Thursday.